Hi everyone, it's Audrey Alison, and I just wanted to set up this intro video to thank you for your patience in the delay for the November forecasts. It's 5 days after November, so I appreciate your patience with that. For those of you who've been patient, I wanted to let you know the reason behind this is because I just made a major move. I moved across the United States and I drove, and I really had a blast, but I could not record because I averaged about 8 to 9 hours a day in the drive. And it's very draining to record the videos. I needed to reserve a lot of my energy. And when I got to my loft in Jersey City, I didn't have Wi-Fi yet. I moved, so I have to handle some things in my own life, and I appreciate your patience. Right now, I'm still setting things up in the loft. So I'm at my mother's house, the house I was born and raised in several decades ago. But what I love about the timing of this is I didn't realize I would be recording here. And what I love about this room is I always get a lot of energy when I'm home in this house. This is the room my father passed away in, and I always feel the presence of him here, and as well as other family members, but I feel like it's going to be something special. So I really appreciate the patience with getting these up. In my new space, it'll be more conducive to recording, a little more professional, and a lot more quiet and clear and clean energy is in this loft. So I'm excited to have more time and the right space to record in. My older property in Los Angeles was starting to get very invaded with lack of privacy in the area. And I was surrounded by a lot of energy that wasn't working for me anymore as a reader. And that'll change. You know, I lived in that place for 14 years, quite a long time. And it just... I can't really explain it. I know I needed a change, and this is exactly where I needed to be. So, on to your forecasts. Again, thank you for your patience, and I'm wishing you a beautiful month. And the next video you see will be shot from my new place. So I'm excited about that too. This whole transition is exciting for me. Okay, on to the forecasts, and I'll see you soon. Hi Scorpio, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your November 2016 forecast for the month. I'm happy to be here, and I thank you for your patience with the delay. And if you haven't watched the intro, please do so. It'll let you know a little bit about why I was delayed, and also the room I'm reading in, how special it is to me. It's really giving me a lot of energy for the forecasts. So let's get started. Again, thank you for subscribing and for your patience. We start the month on the 9th of November with Mars transiting into the sign of Aquarius. So for you, Scorpio, this ignites the 4th house of home and mother and environment and foundation, your roots. The deepest part of the astrological wheel is the 4th house. And Mars, being the planet of energy and stamina and fast-paced tempo in this sector, could see you having energy to move, to initiate the energy it takes to move. And trust me, I know what is up with that because I am in it right now. There's a lot of energy here. It's also about the connection to your mother. And since Mars takes 2 years to get into this sector again, this is something that might have felt delayed for Scorpio. I feel like the environment might be changing for some of you. And when Mars enters this sector, it ignites the Libra in Jupiter in Libra energy in the 12th house. So the premonitions, the dreams, the inclination, the intuition to move, the inspiration, which is Mars, to change the environment could come into play here. And you're expanding because Jupiter in the 12th trining Mars in the 4th could see a larger upgrade. And Scorpio, you deserve that as well. So planning and taking action towards this environment change and towards the betterment of the relationship of your mother could be coming into play here at the top of the month. Also, happy birthday, happy solar return, Scorpio, for those of you in the November side of that birthday. This is a powerful month. It's not as tumultuous as October, but with Mars going into this sector of environment, I feel like your focus is where and how you are living. And even the environment around you at work could be affected. I think of a cubicle sometimes when I think of the fourth house, like all the four walls around you. So if you have been stuck or feeling a stagnance, this will be no longer with Mars here. Mars is very fast paced and wants action. So if you've been thinking about a lot behind the scenes but not doing it, now is the time for the action, to take action. On the 11th of November, we have Venus transiting into the sign of Capricorn. So this is the third house. Venus in Capricorn is about the communications with the women in your life, the siblings in your life, communication with sisters especially, because Venus governs the feminine. It's also about money for local travel, money for a vehicle, money for a new vehicle. When Venus enters Capricorn, she will be conjunct Pluto at the 15-degree mark. Pluto, I feel like, has been sitting in the center of Capricorn for years now. And Venus is there to smooth over the intensity that planet Pluto has given the third house for you. Your connection with siblings has been very dark or very deep. Pluto's the underworld, so there's a lot to uncover in the area where he rests, and that is the third house of siblings, local travel, study, the vehicle, and your communication, your speech, how you're talking to people. You might smooth over a rift with females or siblings, and Pluto could see it finally squashed in whatever direction that would work for you, ending it completely or squashing the argument, something there, because Venus is a very healing planet as well. Now on the 12th, more personal planet energy, Mercury enters the sign of Sagittarius. This works for Scorpio because this governs your money. I do think the job is changing for Scorpio as well as the environment, and it could be the same thing. The environment could be your job. Here's why. When Mercury moves into Sagittarius in the second house, he will trine Uranus in Aries. And that is the work, and that's the daily routine and how you're getting to work and the structure of your day. And Uranus is upheaval and change, even though Pluto represents change. I think Uranus could have you changing directions very quickly. So for those Scorpions looking for a new job and looking for new money, that's the time, the 12th of November through the end of the month. This is catalyst energy, information regarding your money, spontaneous insight regarding the career and how you are working. You could just go through a job change, and you could do so, and you could move too and receive job changes from that, because I feel like it's all incorporated. It could be all intertwined here. You might have a new job because you're moving and you need to work in a new location. You might be moving because you are relocating for work. So it could apply differently for all Scorpios, and please watch your ascendant and your moon sign for a very accurate, detailed analysis or forecast. On the 14th, we have our full moon at 22 degrees of Taurus. And now this is interesting, since Taurus governs your opposite sign, the opposite sector, the 7th house of marriage and soulmates. This could see the full moon is an ending and a culmination in the 7th house. Some Scorpios are going through a divorce. Some Scorpios are ending marriages. Some Scorpios are ending business partnerships, the 7th house, the house of the others. And that's okay, because sometimes you need to change things up in order to really grow and enhance. And not everything is meant to last forever. And I would allow this full moon to illuminate what needs to be seen. It doesn't mean you have to make changes on the 14th, especially if you're happily married. If you're happily married, there's no need for the change. But there is an awareness with a full moon. So something needs to be seen in the 7th house. For those single Scorpios, I would say that the full moon isn't the time to initiate new relationships. If anything, it's weaning them away right now and getting prepared for the new moon energy. I would say that putting an end to some business relationships could be more feasible to the single Scorpio. You could also hear about someone you used to connect with, maybe divorcing or going through some changes in their life. On the 21st of November, we have the Sun in Sagittarius, and that's the 2nd house. So Mercury conjunct the Sun, and then on the 29th, we have our new moon at 7 degrees of Sagittarius. So Mercury, the Sun, the new moon, all in the sector of money. This is fabulous for Scorpios. Any delays that you've been waiting on as far as increase or budget or promotion, although 10th house is promotion, I do feel with this kind of money, energy ignited, there is an elevation here. But more importantly, there's new money, because your new moon in the 2nd house is about new accrual of finances, how you're being paid, what you're worth, and recognizing what you're worth. Self-worth and self-confidence come into play. And you want to set your intentions on the 29th around that area. And what do you deserve? What do you feel you truly deserve? Keep that in your thoughts and aim for it. What you think about, you bring about. Manifest that. By the month's end, we've got Neptune and Chiron direct in Pisces in the 5th house. So here's what's happened. Scorpio, for those of you in relationships where you're not married, but you're dating, you're sexually active, you're physical together, the 5th house, you've had some rose-colored glasses off because Neptune was retrograde for a while. So you were seeing things clearly, but now you're putting those glasses back on. When Neptune is direct, it's a little delusional. So you might let some things slide in the romance. You might not be seeing things too clearly with the relationship with your children, because the 5th house is children as well. Chiron direct I love, because that's the asteroid, the wounded healer, smoothing over the healing energies between you and your romantic partner, between you and your children, between you and your creative endeavors in the 5th house. Neptune can see a little delusion there, but you just have to keep on yourself, weigh things out, write down your pro and con list. I know Scorpios love that, the tallying of things, and they usually keep it internally. They try not to show too much of what they're up to, but they're up to always something. I mean, Scorpio has an agenda. Let's put it that way. Let's get to the cards to see what's up with you and see what I can get through channeling, because in this room, it's very strong. My abilities in this home are extremely strong, but I think being back in New Jersey, they are. But this room in particular, due to my father passing in this room, I mentioned that in the intro, but his presence is very strong here. Okay, so let's get to the cards. And if you'd like to book with me, I'm at audreyalison.com. I usually take about 7 to 10 days to book. I will get back to you in just a few days with an email, but I'm busy. I've got clients, I got a lot of readings, so I can't accommodate people in a day's notice. So if you book with me, I will get back to you in a day or two, but we'll set it up for about a week or so out, maybe 10 days, depending on the schedule. So, Scorpio, here are your cards. All right, 4 of Wands. There is a very promising relationship for Scorpios. For those of you not in one, this is the card of marriage. This is the bride and the groom. It's a celebration. It's a ceremony. It's a commitment. For those of you Scorpios looking for relationship, it's ahead of you. It's in the year of beginnings. And trust me, if you're a Scorpio not in a relationship, you don't want to start a relationship in the last 2 months of the year of endings. You want to wait till January, if not March. March is going to be off the chain, spectacular for new beginnings. March 20th through April 20th. However, for those Scorpios in relationship, you could be taking it to the next level. So if you're in the 5th house, you could be taking it to the 7th house. You can take a stronger commitment. There could be an engagement. Let's see what else comes up. The 5 of Cups. A breaking of position. I think a lot of Scorpios are moving, and that cubicle vision I got feels the same as a shelf. You know, you're placed in something, and now you want control over your surroundings and your environment. When Mars is in that 4th, put it this way, with these cups up here, you were able to rest. This is what happens when Mars is in the 4th house. You're like, guess what? I'm not doing this anymore. And if I have to sit here one more minute, I'm going to lose my shit. You can get very angry with Mars. Anything feeling trapped or stuck, you want to break free. So I think that Scorpios are changing their directions. You could be moving at a distance. We'll see how else this applies. The Lady of Coins. You might be waiting financially to do so. Some things need to come into place financially for Scorpio before this move can take place. And you know what else I'm getting? Even before this can happen. So some of you Scorpios are on hold in 2 areas that are very important, that I read for probably the most, business and love. I don't know why your money is holding up your relationship. That's something only you know. Plus, this reading could apply very differently for everyone. But what I want to say is, you're not taking this next step until everything is aligned financially, or until you have something aligned financially. And this might be unsettling for you because you want this to move forward. You want the change, but you're garnering all of your finances. This is property too. The Lady of Coins is collecting from new land, her garden. I think that you're waiting on, this is perfect. Okay, if you're waiting on the money, Mercury, the Sun, and the new moon in the 2nd house of money is going to push forward for you. Moving in January, February, and March would be excellent for Scorpio. Hell yeah. And the King of Coins, this is the highest money card we have in the deck. It's mastering your environment and occupation. The 2 things I just talked about, that's the definition of this card. So yes, in 2 areas, Scorpio is trying to make change and progress, whether it's taking a dating to a commitment, taking the commitment to an engagement, taking the engagement to a marriage, whatever. And then also making sure the finances and the work and the property are in order for everyone involved in this, for everyone, for it to make sense for everybody. You have one more card. Okay, so the 2 of Swords is at a hold. Maybe you have an opposition. Maybe there's an opponent in this. Maybe there's an ex. Some of you might be waiting for a full divorce. The Swords represent communication, but also legalities. You could have a legal holdup right now, a contractual holdup regarding property, a contractual holdup regarding divorce, paperwork regarding the signing of divorces and things like that, whatever happens. I've never been married. I don't know how it works. But whatever, I'm assuming you need to sign some things in order to get divorced. That could be where you're on hold there. And that's also okay. Everything in its sweet time. And let me say this, when Mars enters the 4th house, a lot of this stuff is going to push forward, especially in the environment. So if you have someone maybe blocking this progress, just know it's not someone that can do it. It's all just about divine timing. And it will work out in its best course, in its best way. Like everything does. You just can't see it when it's happening. But I love starting this reading with this card because for those of you looking, you're on the right path. For those of you in it, you're on the right path. Just keep in mind what makes you happy and who you're holding, and it'll all be smooth. This is fabulous energy for your work and your earnings. So I think you're going to have a very sweet month ahead of you. I hope this was helpful, Scorpio. Have a sweet November, and remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.